Kia ora. My name is Ryan, and thanks for being here today. This will be the last presentation. I am a peer navigator that's what Daniel was talking about, and working at Body Positive, like a peer support organization founded and run for all people living with HIV in New Zealand. And I am original from China. So I came to New Zealand like 7 years ago and have been living with HIV since 2019. So as a peer navigator, my job is to provide support and bring my personal and professional insight into the challenge and faced by others in similar situation. So today my topic is about welcome to New Zealand while you're living with HIV when you're visiting as a visitor. So before we're doing that, I might need to have some background about, yes, okay. So in 2005, New Zealand introduced a strict immigration policy requiring all people who are applying for visa to remain in New Zealand for a year or more, that all of them require an HIV test as a part of the immigration medical. HIV was considered a significant cost to New Zealand's healthcare systems. So, but there's also medical waivers of requirement are only available for family members of New Zealand citizens and permanent residents, and for some fixed cohort of refugees. During that time, if you get either you are stay in New Zealand as a student, if you got HIV positive result, that means if you apply for another new visa, that's automatically rejection. So I think you might have seen this chart in the morning by Sue. So this is the graph that reflects the landscape of the heterosexuals acquiring HIV case in New Zealand. And we can see there's a decline after 2005. And part of the reason is that people coming from overseas, who they were blocked from entering the countries. So by the UNAs, there's still 20 countries still impose some form of travel restriction on people living with HIVs. And that UNAs has called for removal of these harmful laws and emphasizing the needs of create a law and to empower people living with HIV. So you can see that in 2019, UNAIDS called 48 countries and territory to remove all the HIV-related travel restriction. You can see New Zealand was in the yellow color. It's New Zealand is still one of them. So during that time, I will talk about the one case. This is happened in early 2021. As an Argentina man just living with HIV lost his appeal against deportation, and then he has been living in New Zealand and with his Kiwi husband, and urged that he might not be able to get access to his life-saving medication if he returned to Argentina. Yeah, that's the phase, what happened for that. And I also experienced the similar situations. When I transit my student visa to work visa in 2020, due to the high cost of my previous HIV medications, before applying for immigration visa, I have to change my HIV medicine to a cheaper ones. Even though it has a lot of side effects on me, but that's the only option I have. And why it took around 2 weeks for my classmates, for some of my classmates, for their work visa to get approved, I have to experience more of the complicated time-consuming process. Like I have to hire an immigration agent, and I have to get the support letters from all the body positive organization, HIV organization, and all my schools and friends and infectious disease doctors, and a lot more to strengthen my case. And that was only for like the work visa. Just imagine if I'm applying for residency, I might have the same like fate as the Argentinian man. So what I'm trying to say is, like at that time, HIV status was seen as like a liability, like a cost burden, which stopped many talented individuals from making New Zealand their home, like regardless of their skills and contribution to society. So what happened like in 2021, in October 2021, Immigration New Zealand has removed HIV infection from the list of the high-cost medical condition, which means that people living with HIV can now apply for visas without being automatically rejected due to their HIV status. Like visa applications still like assessed by on case-by-case basis, because like they consider it as like a cost, but it's not reached to the the point where it is like considered a high cost for immigration. Yeah, so I just want to take this opportunity to thank the effort of all the health professional and community and organizations who has fought to make this change happen. And I just want to say that your work has helped break down the barriers and make New Zealand a more welcoming place for people living with HIV. And I think this one you also saw it when she was like seated. So since like the change in 2021, what did we see? So there's significant increase of HIV, like people diagnosed from overseas. Like in 2023, there's around 123 people first diagnosed overseas. This increase is like a reflection of post-COVID when the borders rise in immigration, like as New Zealand rebuild its workforce. Just like Sue said, it's like only 1 in 100, 1 versus 100, like people who immigrate to New Zealand in 2023. And so the immigration of HIV from overseas also saw a like similar increase in numbers, because people living with HIV are no longer being blocked by the immigration policy. So including including the people from like 123 people, like most of them are coming from countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. So the majority has an undetected viral, indicating that they are on antiretroviral treatment and therefore cannot pass on HIV on sexually. So I think you guys have read a lot today, yes. The HIV action plans in 2030s goals is to eliminate HIV transition in New Zealand and ensure that people living with HIV has healthy life free from stigma and discrimination. So there are two. So it's 90% of people who are diagnosed with HIV are on treatment, and they have like a viral suppression. So for people who coming from overseas, when they enter the country, back to that, majority of them are already on treatment and have viral suppression. So our goals is quite simple, just to help to support those kind of individual, to maintain them their undetectable state and living a healthy life in New Zealand. By doing that, we also reduce the risk of HIV transmission in our local community. So now we just come to a phrase, when since we're talking about people coming overseas, we kind of think of a way. If you are moving to a new country, what is your priority? I think it's for people, it's visa. Are you work or study? Do you have enough money? Do you know where to stay? And do you have you are living a support network from family, from all your doctor, your community? And do you know the language? Okay, and is it safe to move here? But for people who are living with HIV, they have more things to consider. For example, immigration restriction. Do I need to disclose when I'm entering the country? And how can I get access to the healthcare? And is this confidential about the confidentiality and stigma of HIV in New Zealand? Because they are leaving their familiar support systems, their doctors, their community, and their friends and family, and they're stepping into an unknown, and there are more things to consider. So that's what. So another things we did some research. So this is only our body positive website, think status. So we have some of the questions that so it's what country can you enter with do not enter with HIVs? It's basically about laws and policy that restrict or entry restrictions related about HIV. And the second one is just living and working with HIV. It's best country to live with HIV, and country that accept HIV positive workers or can study. And another top query are there about medicines. It's about disclosure, about traveling, about some insurance. So based on those kind of things, so these things, I want to talk about some of my experience about this, because we know that New Zealand have a wide range of resources for people living with HIV. They can access to free healthcare and live a healthy life and settle into their new environment. But unfortunately, many newcomers, they don't know these resources are available to them, or they don't know how to get access to them. A client living with HIV in Napier and was paying a large amount of money to get his HIV medicine every 3 months through his GPs. Yes, and not knowing that they could get access to the HIV related healthcare through infectious disease department and sexual health clinic. Yes, so that's a way. So another case is that I just recently got a call from someone who arrived in New Zealand recently and contact us after he just ran out of HIV medicine. I was just they don't know how to get a prescription and how to get access to the healthcare service. And in another case, someone just brought a 12-month supplies of HIV medicine. This is illegal by New Zealand custom. You can bring maximum 3 months HIV medicine. So if they found out, they can take your HIV medicines. Yes, and by doing that, they just take the medicine for the whole year until they almost ran out of HIV medicine, and they did not engage with the healthcare they did not come here to do the blood test, and they just taking a whole year's medicine and just taking the pills every day. So these are just like a couple of examples, and it just like highlight a bigger issue. So we have all the resource available, but they don't know how to get access to it. So by doing this, I just want to make the second reason, like what should we do? We just make New Zealand the best country to live with HIV. Like New Zealand is a safe home. We should let them know that New Zealand is a safe home, a shelter heaven for people living with HIV. Like New Zealand has created a space for people living with HIV and feel secure and value and support. It symbolizes New Zealand as a place of certain and care and empowerment where health and dignity and well-being are prioritized. So based on that, Body Positive has created a Welcome to New Zealand page to guide individuals living with HIV who are moving to New Zealand. When I said moving, it's people who are just like doing travel, study, works, or business, or immigrant. Either it's short-term stay or long-term stays. So the pages cover like some information about entry requirement, healthcare access, support service, and other things. Our key goals are just like providing information and offering guidance for them to get access to the healthcare systems and reducing barrier and improvement health outcome. So I will get through. Could you open the website? So this is like the Body Positive has created for the Welcome to New Zealand. Can you write it down? Yeah, and we have like 5 part of section about. The first one is local regulation. Yes, all the way down. Yes, one is local regulation and HIV medicine and healthcare, because it's like a lot of people they don't know, like for example, how much medicine do I need to take? Can I take max like that's 3 months, and like do I need to disclose at the customs when I'm entering the country? No. Not necessary, and like where can I? When the most important thing is for them to like keep doing their HIV like treatment. So there's like they don't know how to get it. So first, like for example, it's all explained in just like a Q&A things. Like you need a referral, or either you can contact the infectious disease department or sexual health clinic like directly, or you need a referral, and then they will do all the things. And we also talk about those kind of disclosure things, like organization and support. So especially about the mental health issues and all the things about like disclosure, because a lot of people coming from overseas, they don't know there's like. I think we talk about in the afternoon about the EcoShoe, like disclosure things in EcoShoe. Like, is a lot of people that coming from overseas, they don't know about it, because like they choose not to, they just choose not to use condom and have sex with other people, and because like we all know like EcoShoe, they cannot transmit HIV. Like have HIV transmission, but by the law, that is still not good. We'll discuss this like later, okay? So yes, can I change to the left? Oh, we also have like the in this page we also have like a testing for the HIV as STI and how to get access to PrEP. So it's just like all ring down. Okay. Oh, it's not showing. Okay, can you go to the language? So For now, we still have, because like our goal is to get more people to know this information. So from this, we still have the English, and simplify and traditional Chinese, or Portuguese, and Spanish, and Japanese, and Dutch, and Malay, and Russian. I just want to, back to the PowerPoint. I just want to special thanks to Tas and Dan, Jun, Dasha, and Victor and Tom, who helped with the translation, and all the body positive staff who make it happen, because it's like a community things. Because So what we have done, we also have a digital promotion through like all the social medias, and through different platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and WhatsApp, and newsletters. Like recently, Body Positive launched a series of 10 new videos on social media, like just covering topics such as about PrEP, DoxyPEP, welcome to New Zealand, and U equals U, and disclosure, and other things. So by the result of the social campaigns, welcome to New Zealand just ranked as like a top performing videos. So, do you mind to play the video?
New Zealand is a good place for people living with HIV to come into. Free health system for everybody who lives with HIV who comes into the country.
In New Zealand, the rules changed 2021. HIV used to be considered a high cost burden, and so it would affect your visa status.
We were very pleased when, after lobbying from the sector and the community, that HIV was removed from that list of conditions. And so people living with HIV now are considered on their merits along with other applicants.
So what will happen now is they'll do an HIV test to see when you apply, when you do your medical, they'll do an HIV test just to see what your status is. They'll look at whether you're undetectable, and then they'll look at your overall health and what that health burden might be on the economy.
In regards to bringing medication before coming into New Zealand, it is recommended to take with you 3 months of medication supply.
If they don't ask, then you don't need to tell them about it. So it's all part of your medical. In terms of employment, if your employer asks about your HIV status, HIV is protected. You can't be discriminated based on your HIV status. It's really none of their business. It doesn't affect your ability to do the job.
Traveling overseas and being HIV positive, pretty much you can have different experiences depending what destination you have chosen to go to.
So in terms of if you're traveling and you're HIV positive, health insurance is kind of, they're there to make money. So some will either include it as a pre-existing condition, so they won't cover your HIV. Others will include it as a covered condition, but they might bump your premiums effectively. So you just, when you're looking at the policy, work out what you need. And then it could be a condition of if something actually happens to you when you're overseas, can they tie it back to the HIV or not?
There are certain countries that pretty much they have no restrictions, where other countries they have tough restrictions. Even for the fact that you are HIV positive, you're not allowed to travel into that country.
New Zealand is a great country to travel to, and I'd encourage anyone, whether they have HIV or not, to visit. And I'd like to reassure people with HIV infection that if they do require health care, that will be available to them, just as it is to anyone else in New Zealand.
New Zealand is a good place for...
Rules changed 2021, HIV.
So we come to the last slide. Okay. So this is like also from the data collected from Body Positive website, that these are the languages that language and country that identified from people visiting our websites. So one by country, and one by language. And so for now, like this language has already been translated and including Japanese. Like it's not showing here, but it's like so there's a few more, just like French, German, Indonesian, Thai, and Turkish, Arabic, Italian, and Korean, Vietnamese. And there's also based on the countries, there's still some of the like Filipinos, Tagalogs, and then Hindi, and from South Africa like Zulu, Hausa, and Afrikaans, and from Pakistan like Punjabi and Urdu. So we need your help. If you're willing to help with the translation into another language, we'd love to hear from you. So this, just like we use like the Deep Translate. It's like a translation website just for initial translation. So we just provide the initial translation first, and then all you need to do is just review those kind of language and all the things on the websites. So besides, if you guys would like to collaborate with Body Positive and are interested in promote like this website and this resource, you can also contact us. Okay. Thank you.